One of the features of the Fens is its flatness, and the residents of Wimblington have felt pretty flat themselves lately over a man-made mini mountain that appeared in early 2008. I've got with me Janet Locke, who has a house very close to the base of the mountain. What's it like living near this rubble heap?
Well, as you can imagine, it is not a very nice thing to have to live next door to. It is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Mr. Knowles, who is now the owner of the land, tipped here in January, February of 2008, 3,000 tonnes of concrete that was brought from March to this site, which is 3 foot off of my house. The planning application was for him to just extend a building and to use this concrete in the situ of the actual site, which is a concrete based site. The planning application was that he was going to do that, but he was refused that because the existing site was already concreted and there was too much there. It was dumped there illegally in the first place. There was 32 lorries coming here tipping in 7 days, every day for 7 days. I've had to put up with this since January of last year, and to me it was dumped illegally anyway. The waste and the eyesight of it has been absolutely horrendous. It's actually affected my house, as my house was up for sale from January last year. I've had nobody actually view my house, only one, which was actually put off by the actual mound of concrete here. I've had stress, I've had to live with it, I've had the upset of actually living next door to it. As you can imagine, 3 foot off of my fence, and now I've got the other stress of now with it being crushed. I have machinery, I have crushing machines making noises, I've had diggers, I've got everything here. The stress has been absolutely horrendous, and to be quite honest with you, I've had enough, and I don't think that I should have been putting up with this for the last 12 months.
We've got another digger just gone past, Janet, and we've got a huge array of machinery in front of us, including a thing that's crushing the rocks up and putting it in a big heap on the other side of the yard. How big was this heap before they actually got on top of it today?
25 metres high. That is all I've been able to see out of my window of my house. And I mean, I do wish that I hope people will phone into you and just say, you know, would they actually put up with 25 metre high, 3,000 tonne heap of concrete next to their house, and that's 3 foot off of my fence. And now I've got to put, when this actual mound, when they're actually, because they're crushing it now, once that gets closer and closer to my property, at the moment it's a sort of fair feet away from my property, but once that gets closer and they're starting to actually, you know, crush it, and I'm going to have, whatever the noise is going to be like, it's going to be horrendous. And to be quite honest with you, I just want everybody else to know what is going on here and what I've had to go through for the last 12 months. I'm just wondering now that in a few days' time, because they reckon it's going to take 5 days, when that gets closer to my property and they're starting crushing that 3 foot off my property, what I'm going to have to put up with then. And I think I'm on the junction of the 141 and the B1093 to Manea. You know, I just don't see how I should be able to put up with it, and how he should be able to have ever got away with it at the end of the day, because it was dumped here illegally and he should have been enforced to take it away.
It is being crushed now, so if we go on a couple of weeks' time, will that be the end of the matter for you to think, once it's all done and gone?
I don't think so, no. To be quite honest with you, he's going to be running a haulage business here, and he reckons he's going to run it 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. That is not the planning consent. I know I'm going to have to put up with a lot more, and I've actually put up with it for 12 months, and I'm probably going to have to put up with it for the rest of my life, because how things are, I don't think I'm ever going to sell my house anyway, and I think I'm going to have to put up with it for the rest of my life.
You'll have ginormous lorries running in and out here. It's only a very narrow road in here as well, isn't it?
Well, it is, and it's a dangerous road. The highways at the end of the day class this as a dangerous road. The council, as usual, overruled it. And just stating a fact that when this rubble was here, the council, on the planning application, I have it in black and white, said that this mound, before it was crushed, had got to be removed from my property so that I didn't get the effects of it. And now, as you can see for yourself, the council last week overruled it and said, no, we think it's got to be in situ and it's got to be crushed where it is. And this is my argument. It should have been moved from my property before all this happened, but as you can see, the Fenton District Council overruled it, and they have now said no, it's got to be in situ and crushed where it is. So this is another 7 days probably of crushing, and all this I've got to put up with.
Very good morning to you, Johnny. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a dangerous road. You've got a blind bend just up there, haven't we?
Johnny, we've been campaigning now for a couple of years now on this stretch of the Manea Road here to try to get some sensibility into this by means of traffic calming. We've had some very nasty incidents occur of late over the last couple of months here with 2 very serious accidents where we had people hospitalised as well there. Can I just recap, if I may, with respect to the comments that Janet, my neighbour, has passed regarding the concrete here? We do have a number of questions which we feel need to be answered directly to a number of the people concerned, i.e. the Fenland District Council and the Cambridgeshire County Council. We'd also like to know why an enforcement was not done straight away, given that this was deposited the early part of the year since February, and we're now 10 months down the road there, and this is only just being sorted out. So we think that's wrong there. So we need to know who's responsible. We need to know really where the confusion came between whose responsibilities it was between the Fenland District Council and the Cambridgeshire County Council, and basically why was nothing done straight away. And I have great sympathy for my neighbour Janet Locke and her family to having to live next to this great big pile of waste dump material for all this period of time. Moving on to the highway, I would like to suggest that obviously there are major concerns here, and we are looking at road reduction with traffic calming measures which have been discussed quite at length with the Cambridgeshire County Highways people as well there. And we're also discussing the matters with the 3 Cs, the Complaints Department of Fenland District Council, regarding the way this actual application was actually dealt with. We believe there was some maladministration taking place here. They went against, obviously, consultees with the highways regarding the traffic situations, visibility of stopping distances and so forth on here. And equally, 5 of their own policies were overturned as well, that the committee gave permission for what is a greenfield site of 2 acres to be extended onto this existing site to be used as a lorry park. There are questions here that I think everybody needs to be aware of, and we have equally put this in the hands and the matters of the Ombudsman. There's a number of residents in the village and a lot of letters that have gone into Fenland District Council, and a lot of complaints which have also gone into the Ombudsman's office as well, which we are expecting a very thorough research into what has transpired on this particular site there. There is concern that, obviously, coming back to the concrete, that this was deposited to be used on this existing site. We now can see it as we stand here today, and this is being actually put on top of a greenfield site at a field at the rear of the premises. So what on earth has been going on here? We really are very, very concerned about the way matters have been handled. We hope yourself and listeners will listen to our thoughts, what Janet Locke has said this morning and what has been publicised in the press. Please talk to Jill Tuck, who is the leader of the Cambridgeshire County Council. Mr. Malcolm Moss has been heavily involved in this, and his last comments to me, emailed, was this matter is not closed yet. And I asked the question, what did he mean by that? And he said this ought to be in mind with the Ombudsman to investigate this situation. Thank you, Johnny.
The rubble may be gone, but the trouble rumbles on.
We are going to take this to the bitter end, if we can use that terminology. The basis of this is that none of us here want to see a situation where a fatality occurs.
You could say then that a heap of rubble was heaped a whole lot of trouble for Tony Knowles, who owns this site, could you not?
Indeed. I smile when I say this on there, but we have to go back. There is a very concerning factor here, and this involves, let's put it in big terminology, the parish council. I mean, Tony Knowles, at that point in time, was vice chairman of the parish council. Now, this beggars belief. Surely the parish council should be for the benefit of the parishioners in this village. And do bear in mind, this village has been awarded Village of the Year on many occasions. It certainly won't be at this point in time, and certainly this last year will not be awarded anything, will it? With this massive pile of waste, illegally dumped rubble prompted here on Manea Road.
If we had Tony Knowles with us now, Jerry, one question for him, what would it be?
I think, with respect to the waste deposit of the concrete here, one would actually ask that question, you know, why, on what authority, any thoughts for anybody else, parishioners, people, the highway, everybody, you know, and this is what the villagers are asking you, you know, why should you dump 3,000 tonnes of concrete. You tell me how you justify it.